is John Colo with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you guys. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to make my probiotic and prebiotic rich overnight oats in just 2 hours, right? I know a lot of you guys try to do overnight oats. You got to like, man, I got to do it 8 hours. I got to do it before I go to bed. And sometimes you get up in the morning and you're like, shoot, I forgot to soak my overnight oats. So I'm going to show you guys the hacks to make your overnight oats in just 2 hours. And even more importantly, elevate your recipe to make it more beneficial for your internal microbiome by culturing it for a short time with probiotic, vegan kefir, as well as adding many different prebiotic and nutrient-dense ingredients. This is how I do it, guys, all right? So let's just get started. You know, I got some special ingredients today. I guess first off, we just gotta soak the oats because that's required step. And the oats I'm using are very special. These are sprouted rolled oats. So when these oats come into the factory, they basically get soaked and sprouted first. And so that removes the phytic acid. So that's the thing, guys. Like normal oats does not have this soaking process. So the phytic acid content will be high, which is why they recommend you soak oats or cook them for longer sometimes. So I'm using these 1 degree sprouted oats. Sometimes you can find these at Costco. That's where this was purchased from. Otherwise, I'd say check out Whole Foods. Other reasons why I like these oats are because they are organic certified, and buying organic oats is critical if you guys are into your health and microbiome health, because non-organic oats can be sprayed with glyphosate as a drying agent, which probably is going to mess up your microbiome. So there's been some issues with getting contaminated organic oats that still contain some glyphosate residue. I saw a test on that a while back. That's why these are also tested glyphosate-free each batch. And of course, for those of you guys that are gluten-free, I am not. These are also certified gluten-free as well. So these are the best oats that you could find, in my opinion. How we're going to do this, we're just going to go ahead and open up the bag. And I just like to use a 24-ounce mason jar. And we're going to fill it up to about 1 cup of oats. That's how much I eat in one serving. I like to just make one single serving at a time. So in there we got about 1 cup of oats. And then what I soak it in, many of you guys may soak it in water. You could soak it in some kind of nut milk. You know, I like to optimize and do the things the best ways possible. And for me, it's really important to focus on my microbiome health because it is related to strongly your immune system, your brain health, your longevity, and many other different organ systems. So I don't use just a standard milk, almond milk, or water. I use this stuff right here. This is the Kefir Lab Probiotic Kefir. This happens to be the vegan coconut milk version. If you guys do the milk version, they have a milk version also you guys could find. Now the reason why this kefir is different than any other kefir out there is because on the label it says 100 trillion CFU, and that's per the whole bottle. That's a lot of probiotics, and they culture this with very specific bacterial strains that they source from Europe that can have specific health benefits for you guys, including acidophilus and bifidus bacteria. Furthermore, you know, I've checked out this Kefir Lab manufacturing facility, link down below to that video where I visit them, see the process, interview them, and show you guys how they make that and the benefits that you could get from the Kefir Lab. You know, this probiotic kefir has more probiotics than probiotic capsule pills you guys could buy. Plus, more importantly, this is a live food product, guys. These are living active bacteria that are still alive in here as I'm soaking my oats in it. So when I'm soaking my oats, maybe some of those probiotics will start consuming some of the sugars on the oats. I mean, this is a very extremely short ferment cycle that we're doing, or soak cycle that we're doing. So that's really why I love this kefir product. If you guys are interested in buying this kefir product, I got a link down below in the description, as well as a coupon code OKRaw you guys could use to buy this at 10% off. You're probably not going to find this at your local health food store unless you live in LA and Irwan, or live in San Francisco and Rainbow General. There's a few grocery stores or health food stores that sell the product, but you're going to probably have to order it online because it doesn't have wide distribution yet. It's a small mom and pop company just starting out. In any case, the next step is we're gonna put about 1 cup of this. That's gonna give us over 60 trillion CFU in here. So we're just gonna basically pour this out into about the 2 cup mark. Right like that. And then I'm gonna save the rest for later. Now here's the magic, guys. Most people just soak it like this, maybe put it in the fridge or, just leave it out on the counter overnight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a vacuum soak. That's very important. The vacuum soak basically allows the kefir and the liquid to basically get pushed into the oats. And so for that, I have a special mason jar vacuum lid. These are the same lids I use for fermentation as well as storing juices and smoothies and other foods in mason jars. Links down below to my Amazon shop where you guys can purchase these special lids. I recommend the lids with the little vacuum valve, very important. Along with the lids, you also will get a vacuum pump. They come in different flavors. This is probably the best one I found. And so all we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put the vacuum pump on the lid and we're just gonna pump it up. And if you guys notice, the level of the milk is actually rising up as I pump. Now I'm just going to shake it up a little bit, make sure everything's nice and mixed, and we're going to pump it a little bit more. Alright, so here's the thing, guys. If you just pump it twice and then you're done, the kefir is not going to basically get pushed into the oats and not get absorbed as quickly. I pump as much as I can until there's a lot of resistance, and this will give you a little bit of a workout actually too. That's why you got to get a strong pump, because I've broken lots of handles before. So now that we got this under vacuum soaking, this is a pressure soak. Instead of an overnight oats for 8 hours, some people even say just do 5 hours or 4 hours, we're going to cut that down to 2 hours, and in some cases I've eaten it after an hour. And really the issue with this is that how soft do you like your oats? Do you like your oats nice and firm? And if so, you could eat them after an hour. I like them a bit more softer, so that's why I'm going to let this go for 2 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set a stopwatch up, and we're just going to let this run for 2 hours. We'll probably put it on fast forward mode so you can see if there's any changes as this is soaking, and we're going to come back at you in about 2 hours and finish making the recipe. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's actually been about a little over 3 hours. I got tied up on 3 different phone calls this morning. I was supposed to be back in 2, but had to take some calls. But nonetheless, it's been soaking about 3 hours. You could soak it as low as 1 hour, go up to 3 hours. You could still do 4 hours. You could do overnight. The oats are just going to get softer the longer you do it. And of course, depending on the temperature, you may get a little bit additional fermentation in just the short time it's sealed up. So I guess the next step is we're just going to go ahead and pour this mixture out. And you guys can see the oats are really nice and soft. As you guys can see, we got the oatmeal with the coconut kefir, and this mixture probably has over 60 trillion probiotics in there. But now we're going to ramp it up and take it to the next level by adding additional ingredients to make this oatmeal even healthier and more tasty. So, I'm going to add a few things. Number one, flax seeds. I encourage you guys to eat flax seeds on a regular basis. So we're just going to go ahead and mix in some flax seeds into my oatmeal. Flax seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, anti-inflammatory, really beneficial for us. In addition, I got some basically pecans. You could use walnuts. Today I got pecans. We just got like little, pecan pieces. Mix that up so we got some nice nuts, some nice fat, so we get higher absorption of some of the nutrients in there. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put some apple pectin powder in there. This is optional. I like to put the apple pectin powder. Apple pectin powder is said to feed your Akkermansia bacteria, which is a foundation species. So just like to put it in there. Hey, you could also, peel apple skins in there if you're hardcore. I mean, I just buy the apple peel powder. It's simple. Next, we're going to put in this guy. This is the broad spectrum prebiotic fiber. The brand is Innovix Labs. I'll put a link down below to my Amazon shop where I have these vacuum lids as well as some of these different products I use. And this adds a whole host of different, over a half dozen or more prebiotic fibers, including green banana powder, acacia, tapioca, chicory, FOS. I mean, this is like the one prebiotic fiber powder to rule them all because they combine lots of different ones. And so that's why I like it, because every different prebiotic fiber may feed different probiotics in your gut, so you can have a healthier gut. So I just sprinkle a little bit of this on there. If you're starting new with this, you don't want to do too much. If you do too much of this, you may get a lot of gas and even bloating the first time. So you want to start out small. I've ramped myself up, and I could dump on a tablespoon if I wanted or more. Now, of course, for some sweetness, you know, I'm not going to add any kind of table sugar. If you guys want to add some sweetener to your oatmeal, I'd recommend this stuff. This is called the date sugar. This is simply dried dates that have been ground up into a powder. So you could think of, you could also add, you know, dried fruits, raisins, or, you know, pieces of dates in there. I like to add this because it mixes up really nice. So just some date powder mixing right in to my oatmeal to make it a little bit sweet. Next up, of course, one of my favorites is the cinnamon. I'm just using this container, but this is actually organic ground cinnamon, but it's Ceylon, not the Saigon cinnamon that I originally purchased. So we're just going to put a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon may help with blood sugar regulation, and definitely a good spice to add. I remember as a child I'd have like brown sugar and cinnamon oatmeal. So this is like my adult version that's actually a healthy way to eat the oatmeal. Of course, next up, we got to put some fresh stuff in there. You could use fresh berries. One of my favorite things to add to my oatmeal are the bananas. So we're just going to put in like, you know, one banana. You could put more or less depending on how much you want. I think I'm just going to add one today. I basically just like to cut the banana all the way down the middle, and then I just slice it into little bits inside. So every time I get a bite of the oatmeal, I get a little bit of banana as well. Now, of course, the greener your banana you use, and you know, I advocate for use of the green bananas that aren't even ripe, they're going to have more resistant starch in there as well. Of course, they're not going to taste as sweet as a ripe banana. As bananas ripen, resistant starch tanks down to barely nothing. That's why, you know, I got in here, I have the banana resistant starch already. And I think we got all the ingredients in there except for one, and this is the most important one, in my opinion, because it makes this oatmeal taste like Lucky Charms. Yes, Lucky Charms. I wasn't allowed to have that as a child. My parents wouldn't allow us to get those sugary cereals. But what I have in this bottle here are freeze-dried, and these are wild freeze-dried blueberries. You guys may not be able to find these near you. You may have to purchase them online. You could find freeze-dried berries for the best price at something like Trader Joe's. Whole Foods will also sell the freeze-dried berries. I buy them in bulk when I buy freeze-dried fruits and vegetables to save money on them. But basically, these guys are amazing because they're basically just berries that have been freeze-dried, so the water's removed, and they're crunchy. So this adds a nice crunch to the cereal, as well as also adding some anthocyanins that are protective for our bodies, but more importantly, the anthocyanins also feed the beneficial microbes inside us. So we're going to go ahead and mix this all up. And I'm going to try bite on camera for you guys. All right, there we have it. There is the oatmeal, soaked, not cooked, right? Ready to eat. Looks really nice. The consistency is really good. Check it out. My spoon will stand up in there. Probiotic-rich, sweetened with natural date sugar, and added with a lot of different prebiotic and probiotic and functional food products. This is probably the healthiest oatmeal you will ever eat. Prebiotic and probiotic rich. Wow. Guys, this stuff is off the hook. Amazing. It's just sweet enough in there. The oats are nice and soft after soaking for just 3 hours under vacuum. Normally I do it usually for 2, but hey, 3 hours is going to work too. A lot softer on the oats. Get better digestion, of course, and you're eating it. This is a probiotic oatmeal. You can think of this as a fermented food because the base of it was the Kefir Lab 60 trillion probiotic CFU count in there that we're eating along with all the prebiotic fibers and other functional foods. If you guys want to make the healthiest oatmeal that I've ever seen on earth, glyphosate-free, organic, and sprouted, less phytic acid, this one is it. I think I'm going to enjoy more of this off camera. So if you guys are interested in sourcing some of the same ingredients that I have sourced for this episode, because I get them from all over, you want to make sure you visit my Amazon shop. Link is down below. That's where you can get the vacuum lids, which are essential to this episode, as well as the sprouted oats, although I recommend you guys get those locally if you can, as well as the apple peel powder, the prebiotic fiber powder, and the date sugar that can be hard to find in regular grocery stores. So if you guys want to get the Kefir Lab probiotic kefir with over 100 trillion CFU per bottle of the kefir vegan that I use in this recipe, you want to visit them at kefirlab.com. Link also down below in the description, as well as pinned to the first comment, so that you guys can save 10% off the Kefir Lab product by using the coupon code OKRAW. In addition, I also encourage you guys to save another 10% by subscribing and going on a subscription for the Kefir Lab product, so that you never run out of one of my favorite probiotic products on the entire market at this time. So if you guys enjoyed this episode learning how I make my probiotic and prebiotic-rich oatmeal in the morning, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this in other gut health and microbiome forums so that they could see how you could significantly ramp up your fermented food consumption as well as your prebiotic fiber consumption when you make your breakfast, and not to mention all the functional anthocyanin-rich and polyphenols in the cinnamon and other ingredients that I use. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes I've coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what new recipe or education I'll be sharing with you guys on how you guys could eat more fresh fruits and vegetables and other plant foods to benefit your health. Also, make sure you click the bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check out past episodes. Past episodes are wealth of knowledge. Over 700 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about how to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables and prebiotic and probiotic foods to better your health. Link down below also to my original visit where I visit the Kefir Lab manufacturing facility and go deep and show you guys why I love this fermented product the most. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables and probiotic foods. They're always the best.